Okay. So
You get to pick from the dice that are left.
Yeah, using the central dice, you get to pick an element, I get to pick an element, and then we each get to pick a detail for that element.
Yes.
Okay. Wild.
It's a little complicated. I think Fiasco 2E made it a little simpler with the cards, which was part of it.
Yeah,
but
for
okay.
sure.
So yeah. God, I hate that these two things are in the same PDF.
Yeah, I just opened the PDF twice and then have one on one page and the other on the other.
That's smart. I should do that also.
Okay, Brian, you pick the first element. I'll pick the second element, and then you'll pick a detail of mine, and I'll pick a detail.
Wait. Which tilt table are we going off of?
The hard tilt table.
The hard one, the standard one from Fiasco General.
Right, but I mean, like
page 56.
Can somebody just take a screenshot of it and put it in the Discord?
Gotcha.
It will be longer.
Wait, are we not picking like the big categories?
Yes.
Yes. We're using the dice just like we did for relationships.
Okay.
Because there's mayhem, tragedy, innocence, guilt, paranoia, and failure.
Okay.
And so you're going to pick a die for one of those. I'm going to pick a die for one of those. And then you'll pick a die for one of the subcategories of mine. And I'll pick a die for one of the subcategories of yours.
Okay.
Using these ones that are left in the center.
Yeah.
I am going... Oh, from the center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Then I'm going to take a 1 and pick Mayhem.
Hell yeah.
Of course you are.
I'm just going to move that off to the side so we know. Just to there.
I'm...
Don't like that.
You have 1s, 2s, 3s, and a 4.
Mm-hmm.
No 5s, no 6s. Interesting.
Two.
Yeah. I am going to... God, they're all so good. I'm going to grab 3. I'm going to pick 3 innocents.
Alrighty.
Fine then, Zach. You're going to pick innocence.
Alright, so pick... Yeah, so we have 2 3s, 2 1s, 2 and a 4.
Please, somebody with the power to touch the dice, will you please drag the 4 over next to Zach's 3?
Collateral damage.
Nice.
You picked 1. I have so few things I can pick. I'm going to do something. Everyone always picks 3 on the Mayhem table.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is
and
fun.
I'm not gonna. It is fun. I'm going to pick 2.
Tragedy?
No, it's of
No.
Mayhem.
Mayhem 2. Which
I was
is
hoping you would
frantic.
pick Out of Control Rampage.
I thought about it. But a frantic chase sounds fun.
Oh, fuck. Train heist. Train heist. Train heist.
Alrighty. So now we reassemble the dice back in the middle.
Alright, so those are our tilt elements. We have innocence, collateral damage, fucked up, and mayhem, a frantic chase. I've got some ideas about what that chase might be.
To lay out what we know as well, the full extent that has been seen on screen of Hereafter's plan has been revealed, which is at this point, it's going to be get Galen on the train with the Queen, and when they are on their way to the above world, to swap their tickets so the Queen will not have to come back, and she is free of this place, and Galen will be with her for 6 months, and then will return. Meanwhile, we have Wyatt's automation plan,
which Hereafter does not know about.
Which Hereafter does not know about.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Juniper doing her own grassroots organizing, feeling conflicted about the automation. Because in the real world, yeah, full automation is one thing, but also it's like trying to judge, like, okay, how does this work when the workers have nowhere to go if they're barely working? So she's...
Yeah, Hereafter also has some will have some opinions when he discovers this plan.
Is there any other details on the table? Is there anything anyone is unhappy with rolling forward for Act 2, or does everyone feel pretty good with the the plates that are spinning right now?
I feel pretty good. I do want to say that Galen's got some concerns about how our little ruse may only work for one cycle before shit hits the fan real hard.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what we're here after us on that is that it doesn't have to be a ruse. The ticket's good. You have the ticket.
Yeah,
You can be mad about it, but you have the ticket.
it's more like, what is the king going to do when the queen doesn't come back, and instead Galen does?
Hopefully,
Okay.
by the end of that 6 months, we've got something fixed. we've got
But yeah,
a contingency.
That's the hanging thread.
The other thing that Hereafter has not had a chance to say is specifically what Galen is going to bring back with him instead of presents.
Oh, well, that's
Interesting.
interesting.
And I think also the key thing is like Wyatt is obviously setting up automation, but I feel like Wyatt's to what end has not yet been revealed yet.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That is okay. That is some cool shit.
Do we want to do before just to leave them wanting more? Do you want to go around and everyone do like a quick like solitaire vignette of like where we're starting out setting things up?
Yes.
Also,
like
since
that
I
a lot.
proposed this plan, can I go last?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm leading today. I bestow that upon you. Have you got an idea for a vignette, Zach, as the next one in the turn order?
Yes, but mine will also kind of very strongly set the scene for what's happening next. So maybe I should go second to last.
I hate this. All right.
Okay.
So, okay.
This is why you probably shouldn't have me and Zach on here. We're two dramatic bitches.
I know this, and I love you.
We're both GMs is the problem.
Yeah. Okay. Juniper's vignette is her sitting at the bar in the speakeasy, slowly sipping this glass of gin and just like listening to people talk and watching the queen. And her eyes are just ticking back between the two, wondering if she is right to put her trust in these three white boys who all apparently have their own agenda.
Fair. Galen's vignette is him and his sister sitting in, her visiting room, let's say, her little foyer almost. Not foyer, you know what I mean. She's got a little sitting room that she receives people in.
A receiving room, if you will.
A receiving room, if you will. And he is sort of laying out the details of this plan that he has been given but doesn't disagree with. Though he doesn't quite understand some parts of it, he's explaining to her as much as he does understand so that she can be on the same page as everybody else. Because she's part of it now.
Oh, sorry, Sam.
I was about to say, and I don't know how she responds, to be honest. But, something.
Hereafter is going up and down. He's going up the log of like the travel agenda for the eventual upcoming departure of the queen. Talking, schmoozing, figuring out some like the intel on it. And as he is like in the train office, there is a little pneumatic tube that puts out a new message, like an updated itinerary. And he like kind of ghosts over to the conductor's shoulder and reads that the queen is actually leaving immediately. and he sees some guards going to collect her.
Wyatt.
Oh dear.
And I think what we see is, like, then we cut to Wyatt, who is in, like, a dark, very brooding office. And Wyatt's wearing clothes from, like, if this is the television show, this is Wyatt in his outfit from season 1. And he leans forward, like, with a smirk on his face, and is like, and to me it seems like a very small price to pay for me being able to build you the perfect factory. Hard cut to black.
You motherfucker.
Hey, what the fuck? Hey, what the fuck?
Let's just do a clap. Because we're not going to do the outro here, we'll do the outro later.
Somebody's not as innocent as they expected, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Van
Uh-huh.
Let's clap on 30.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I don't have time dots up in anymore.
No worries. Do not clap on 30.
I clap on 30.
It's too late.
Nope.
I did it!
Let's clap on 45.
Okay.
Damn it, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay.
All right.
So
I'm the only person who has 3 dice. That means that I would have a wild finale.
Mm. All right.
Mhm.
So, when we left off, we did those cool fucking cliffhangers where I was just cursing Brian. So that's good and fun. So, yeah, Act 2, shit's getting real.
Do we
Given-
does the turn order go the same?
In theory, yes, but we could start at a different point. Because why not? No gods, no masters.
Yeah, take
No leaders.
turns. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you just take turns.
Yeah.
So I imagine you start with the same turn order.
hmm
I would
Unless if somebody's got a really strong idea for an opening for it, for Act 2, then have at it. If not, it would just be Sam, because that was the turn order we had before.
Oh god, wait, I'm next?
I can probably BS a thing.
All right then. Hell yeah, Brian.
Okay.
Save Sam from his panic at the notion of having to go first.
So I know round
going
2 dice
first.
work differently. How does round 2 dice work different?
Again, it's the same rules with that you either establish or resolve.
Okay.
But at the end of the scene, regardless, you keep the dice rather than giving it to somebody else.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We want to build across Act 2 to hit the finale by the time we run out of dice. And, as always, that last die is wild.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you can call it as black or red as you'd like.
Sick. Okay, got it. So I'm gonna frame the scene. Somebody pick the other thing. I do not care here who. I primarily need Galen. I don't care if anyone else is there. I mean, I would enjoy someone else, but I don't mean that to be so mean sounding. The rest of y'all,
Galen needs to
right
be
off.
there, no one else needs to
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah, exactly. Galen needs to be there. No one else needs to be there.
What else is the context of the scene? And then we can determine if hereafter.
Basically, Wyatt has called like it's like just before we find out that Galen needs to like the train. Like this is like just a few probably a few hours before we find out that the train has been moved up.
Because didn't she just get back? Well, I guess time is fucky.
Yeah. That's also weird why it's happening today.
Mm-hmm.
Also, time is nebulous. All of these machinations could have been happening over a series of weeks and such like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So.
But she still only got back a few weeks ago rather than
6 months.
This is definitely
6 months.
way ahead of schedule. for
Way
her to
way
be
ahead of
leaving.
schedule. Yeah.
This is a machination.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to do this to frame because I'm saying that because progress will have made on Wyatt's project in the background of this.
Mhm.
So, so if anyone else wants to be there, you can be there. But, the little burned out shop is humming. There's like tons of people on different lines, all building things. Wyatt is kind of going around to the different stations. Basically he's like, oh, you're doing a good job. Hey, try doing this. He's like trying to make sure everybody's producing things, and they're seemingly just building parts of people, obviously, like they're building humanoid robot parts. And, are you already there, or do you walk in, Galen? Were you already on the line, or?
Oh, I walk in,
Okay. Yeah.
Clipboard at the ready.
Okay. Galen's kind of like a stout feller, right?
He's like tall, but like buff.
He can carry shit good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
Yeah, I think Wyatt waves you over, kind of like excuses himself from the people that he was talking to, and kind of gestures for you to meet him over at his desk, where there's like a series of like 5 crates that are like stacked up next to his desk.
All right.
And I think Wyatt is like, hey, good job getting the folks. This is going great. We're moving well ahead of the schedule that I had. Good job.
Thank you.
I need you to do one thing for me today. This is incredibly important. And I don't know what else is on your schedule, but bump me to the top because I need this done. And he like gestures at the crates. If these orders on high, this stuff needs to get to the other like directors. Wyatt's one of the directors.
I see.
Yeah. Just go ahead and drop them off at their offices. I don't care if they're there. They just need to get there before like they clock in.
Alrighty then. I guess. Suppose I will.
And I think
He just puts his clipboard down.
Wyatt
Hefts one of the. How heavy are they? Can he carry 2 boxes at once?
Probably, but I think as he goes to try and pick up the boxes, Wyatt sort of like gestures to like a hand truck.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, like
That will be useful.
you're strong, but Jesus, boy, like.
And he puts the boxes onto the hand truck. That's like a dolly, right?
Yeah, dolly. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think I'm the only person in the entire world who calls it a hand truck. But yeah, it's like a dolly.
That's very funny. Yeah. He
Yeah.
puts the starts shifting them to the dolly. He asks, so what exactly is in? What do the other directors need to see so badly?
What? Oh, is it a? Thank you. Does that mean? What does this mean? Bad?
Mhm.
Oh, I can't touch
With
this
the
dice.
native
Can you put
die.
it next to my other dice, please, somebody?
I-
Thank you. Black is bad, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
It's a negative in this context. Text.
I think Wyatt sort of I think Wyatt pulls out like reaches in his desk and pulls out like a schematic. He's like, it's just a sample. Like he just lays it out on the table. He's like, it's just like a sample of something that's coming up. Some new thing. It's basically just shit to keep them off my back so I don't have to go to any more goddamn board meetings than I have to.
Yes. Time-honored tradition of shirking one's duties when one is in command.
I think like the camera is like close, like we do like a dramatic close up on like a number of things, and this isn't a normal schematic like Wyatt draws up. This definitely has like there's more like chemistry stuff going on here that's also inside of whatever's going on.
Cool. So it's gonna be a bomb. It's a bomb?
It's 5 bombs.
It's a bomb, perhaps.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, cool. It's a lot of bombs.
Yeah. It's fine. They're stable. That's what he wouldn't give them to you if he thought you would blow up.
And you also don't know.
I wasn't worried about that until you said it!
Galen doesn't know what that means.
Yeah, Galen doesn't know fucking shit of what this means. His idea of a bomb is a clay jar with some gunpowder in it.
I mean, listen, most bombs are not much more complicated than that, frankly.
That's true, yeah. God. Alright, and so he, wheels it out to the freight elevator? ? Or he has to carry it down the stairs.
No, we're on the ground floor. Like, this is like
Oh, good.
Yeah, this is like a warehouse that got burned out. And I imagine the main building has freight elevators and shit like that.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
We've become more industrial.
Yeah.
While
Wyatt's been here, he's been just like, alright, fuck this.
Alright, well, Galen doesn't understand what that thing is, and he goes, alrighty, I will take these samples to the other board members. And he pushes the handcart and leaves.
Sick.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Well,
What
something
could?
clearly, because you got a bad end here.
Alrighty.
We'll see how it goes.
I think the bad end is determines what was determining what was in the box.
Mhm. Yeah, I took it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Alright.
Not what I anticipated there.
Cool. It is my turn.
Sure is.
The train whistle blows.
I don't have a train whistle.
And that's fine. Choo choo, signaling that it is all aboard time, and a suite of security officers heads towards the. I'm establishing, obviously.
Yeah, we kind of assumed
Really?
at this point.
Are you establishing? Sorry,
15
go on.
minutes later.
Don't be a shit.
Oh wait, guys, I'm establishing the scene.
I'm just stating it for the record.
Please.
Duly
You've
noted.
thrown me off my groove.
Security officers.
Hereafter sees this. Security officers are heading towards the Queen's chambers to escort her. Hereafter, of course, in his wraithily flitting about the palace, or the manor, or the boss's house. What is it? What does the boss's house look like? Is this a Greek palace, or is this like a manor house at like a plantation almost?
In my head, it was like it's like the Greek the implementation of like Greek and Roman architecture into like modern architecture, like you would see typically, like like how always there's like this like Pantheon look when somebody tries to illustrate the house from fucking The Great Gatsby.
Yeah,
that vibe.
So like a plantation house that's got a lot of very, very strong like Greek architecture to it,
like a southern antebellum sort of vibe.
but with like a little extra like Greek thrown in there, like turned up to 50.
I mean, they already had.
I guess
they
I
already
wasn't
had
really
pillars.
thinking antebellum. I was thinking more urban than that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
urban
Gatsby.
southern.
I think Gatsby's a good poll
Yeah.
for it.
Okay, cool. I never saw that movie.
No, me neither, but I saw pictures.
Which
couldn't avoid
was
it.
obviously the best. I see now. Yeah. Okay, that's a palace. But Greek. So one of them houses, but Greek. Also had the pillars up. Fantastic. I'm sure those pillars are like shaped in the shape of people holding up the roof or something.
Yeah. More extra than.
So hereafter. Oh yeah. Hereafter sees that happening, like kind of like leans behind a wall, and then just turns and starts to fast walk, and it's like walks around a corner, and then it cuts, and he has appeared in the assembly line where Wyatt is, and says, "Mr. Van Croft, fantastic to see you. A moment of your time, please."
Yeah. I think like Wyatt leaves, like sort of like talks to whoever he's talking to, and sort of like comes off the line. He's like, "Hey, I actually had something I needed to talk to you about."
Fantastic. We can talk to each other, but first I need to retrieve that item that I left with you.
I think Wyatt sort of like cocks an eyebrow, is like, he like sort of like looks around, pushes you out, and like out into the courtyard away from like prying eyes, like, I already gave it to him.
What?
It was supposed to go to Galen, right?
Yes, but after I explained the situation with greater detail.
I mean, me and June sort of sussed it out. He's fine. He's way more capable than you think that he is.
Hereafter gives you a stern look. I know exactly how capable every person in this factory is, Mr. Vancroft. That is my business, including knowing what you're capable of, which is incredible machinations. Where is Galen?
Like looks at his watch, I guess. Like, he should be finishing up some deliveries that I sent him to do.
Okay, well, I don't know if the train whistle penetrates the din of this place, but our timetable has shifted significantly.
Wait, the train's leaving today?
So saith the jackbooted thugs who are even now spiriting our dear queen onto it.
The fuck? It's been like 2 months. What the hell?
Okay, so you and I are now on the same page, except you had something else to say to me, and I believe we can say it quickly as we move.
Okay, yeah, sure. I think like Wyatt like rushes back to his desk, and I think Wyatt's in like his in just like a shirt, like his like shirt, like suspenders, and his like pants, like because he was doing work and he didn't want to get like his like jacket and vest thing, and he like pointedly grabs his vest and like throws it on, and then like digs into his desk and pulls out like his like communication keys ring, and starts like walking along with you. And I think as he's walking, he's like trying to shift through the keys and find one, trying to figure out if he ever gave Galen one. Whenever somebody moves a die across, we'll know if this happens or not. I think he's like, yeah, what I was trying to talk to you about is, I think we have a loophole that we can exploit.
Oh, fantastic. You know how much I love those. Which one is this one?
The board can make a vote of no confidence. We just need a 2/3 majority.
I see.
Is there an explosion?
Not yet.
Okay.
I don't know. The scene has a negative end. It could do.
I just saw the die.
Well, you set up the scene. I was gonna let you kind of steer it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I can't resolve the ending.
Well, no, you can choose how it ends. I've given you a vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've given you a negative vibe.
Negative vibe.
Vibe check. It bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll. Okay. I mean, the bombs going off prematurely is very negative.
But I would choose. I'm choosing not. Like, I would prefer not to blow Galen up.
Well, he doesn't have to get blown up.
That's true.
For it to be negative.
Galen is probably. I was gonna say earlier in this scene that like as you're like, you know, he should be done with the delivery. It's like, and Galen walks in with the handcart, but I wasn't sure whether it was time for me to interject there. But I will say that Galen is away from everything, so the bombs blowing up prematurely is still bad, but doesn't kill Galen.
I mean, it could just be one
double kill.
It could just be
Re-kill.
one goes off early. They don't all have to.
True, that like them all going off. Theoretically, all of the rest of the board of directors are in their offices, which is why it would be sending them there. One going off tips everyone off to the plan.
Exactly.
That's not good.
That's bad, in fact.
Tilt, baby.
Cool. So
Mayhem.
that's the tilt.
Okay.
So we cut to one of the board who like is talking to like their secretary like, what is this thing in here? It's like it was it came from from board member Vancroft.
I think it's got like it's like an oak box that has like a very nice looking sort of like brass hinge system on it. And I think like just the act of opening it is what the trigger is. It's just like a pull pin.
Like a fucking
Absolutely.
Looney Tunes bullshit.
Yeah.
Cool. And so he like flips it open, and the like fog, like a cloudy glass window of his office just explodes outwards. And that's bad for us.
That's real bad for us.
Especially because someone's got to catch a train.
Which one of us says that? I think White says it like, oh, that's bad for us.
That was only one. Mr. Vancroft, that was only one.
Yeah, I was trying to see that 2/3 majority is real easy to get when there's only one person.
Oh my god. And I want to say that this is about when Galen walks in.
Mm-hmm.
I think you walk up and he's like, oh, thank God, Galen.
And Galen's like,
Yes.
Something exploded? I believe
also
the
part of
boxes
it is
that you
that
had me deliver may have been malfunctioning. No, he just delivered a bomb.
Mr. Guarded by the grace and glory of our illustrious shining Lord. Very important question. How many of those offices had people in them when you delivered it?
How many did I deliver?
5.
5. At least 3 of them.
Well, Mr. Vancroft, welcome to the 1/3 majority. You, my friend, have a train to catch.
I think
That's the end of our scene.
And that's the end of the scene. God.
As a klaxon blares, right? Like,
oh yeah, klaxons are going off,
happened.
Oh yeah.
How the fuck
cool,
do I
fantastic.
follow that? Jesus. Okay.
Here's another thing though, is like I imagine that explosions aren't terribly unusual here,
No.
given that it's large factories, and I'm sure that we do not have OSHA.
no.
Yeah, but it's more like
Yeah,
the
but not
source
that
of the
kind of
explosion.
Typically, the office doesn't
Yeah.
blow up, so like there's a little bit of wiggle room for me to get the rest of this plan to go off, but it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, good job. Good luck.
Come on, I'm Wyatt Vancroft. I make magic happen, baby.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the fire from this explosion is probably some weird magical color.
No,
Like a deep red or something.
no, it's just fire. It's just a real bad one.
Cool.
Okay. No fancy magic fire. Fair enough. Juniper Aurelius,
Uh-huh.
are you going to resolve or establish?
I'm gonna choose how it resolves, so somebody else can establish this. Yoink!
God, you're so valid. I will establish then and say that this might be a really good time for Galen and Juniper to be hanging out in their downtime location, which is Galen frantically running home to shove all of his belongings into a suitcase. While Juniper is, I don't know, just vibing in her bunk.
Woken up by an explosion.
Yeah, maybe that is
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
Juniper is like just that's going off, and like there's like maybe somebody has just come in and like woken Juniper up, or maybe it is like it hasn't got to them yet. Like I can't imagine like the fucking dormitories, as it were, are that close to the office block,
Right.
like of middle
Like,
management.
Realistically,
you probably
the
do
explosion
see
didn't wake
people
you up.
like-
It's all the warning, like all the emergency klaxons.
Yeah,
The emergency klaxons, like, people are running past your door.
yeah,
Yeah.
Alrighty.
and then the door bursts open.
Oh, there's
So,
no door,
you hear...
remember? That was one of the things, like,
Oh,
there's
that's
no
right.
privacy.
That was a thing. There's no privacy, there's no door, it's a curtain. That's right. The curtain blasts open, and Galen is there, like, oh, goodness. Okay, all right. God's, oh, everything.
Are you okay?
Woof.
What's going on?
Many things are happening right now. I don't even know if I understand fully all of the things that are happening, but
That doesn't surprise
lots
me.
of
What
things.
can you tell me is going on?
Fucking
that is
ow,
rude.
Jesus
but fair.
Christ.
So Galen sort of stops for a second and goes, "The train is leaving now. Somebody's office just exploded. I believe I just delivered some sort of explosive to multiple offices, unwittingly. The train has been moved up several months, and I need to leave." Galen's, like, rooting around in his pockets for I need to take this. He pulls out the envelope, which he still hasn't opened because he's very trusting and he trusts you.
Listen,
He
I
trusts
haven't
you,
said it's
Wyatt.
fake yet. I haven't figured out if it is.
God, that's so fucking valid. And he is just, like, shoving, as he's, giving this explanation, he's, like, shoving things into, like, a steamer trunk.
Mm-hmm.
And is basically like, so I have to leave now, 10 minutes ago, and I am very upset and confused, and I don't know why things are happening like this. But I believe that the train leaving may have something to do with the explosions. They don't.
I don't know if that's... And, like, Juniper's just trying to put it together, like, grabs the other side of the steamer trunk to, like, run with Galen to where the station is.
Thank you for your help, once again. Thank you. Yeah, we're fucking bolting. You said it has a positive ending, so I guess Galen makes it onto the train. I don't know how positive that is given the envelope, but, Jesus.
Yeah, I think what this looks like, actually, is maybe we're able to get you
To the train station.
to the train station.
Yeah.
And, like...
Before the Queen?
Yes. Maybe she... I like the thought of Fallon just purposely dragging her feet as much as she can, like, knowing that this seems off, and with an explosion going off, like, framing it as, like, what's going on, I need to understand, being the dutiful wife as well. So maybe, like, that's just... Maybe this is everybody getting to the station at the same time, then.
Mm-hmm.
Before the Queen is my new For the Queen hack.
Oh my God, Brian. And yeah.
And I think...
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Like...
That's true. You get to decide how it ends.
Yeah, I suppose this is... What is this look like? Right, yeah, I feel like this is, like, with everyone there, it's like Havoc. The Queen is there now with her retinue and, like, or is just arriving, and the security forces are, like, putting her luggage onto the train while she's, like, making a lot of noise.
Right. There's, like, a crush of humanity because people are moving away from the factory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's plumes of smoke in the distance.
Another explosion happens. And yeah, like, I feel like, given how that we've established they're all pretty tall except for Wyatt, who isn't short either, just sort of like, this is like Juniper's eyes meeting Hereafters and Wyatt, and it's just this look of what the actual fuck is happening.
Good question. Let's call it a hostile takeover.
Oh my God. Galen's a little lost, but also is sort of inching towards
Galen,
Fallon.
get on the train.
Yeah.
He throws his arms around Juniper and thanks her.
Hopefully you can stop those goons from stopping our dear king. And he straightens his hat, and says, I have a mess to clean up.
I think Wyatt sort of, like, is like, they're not going to stop him because he is supposed to be here. I need just a little bit more time. I can still make this work. Just need a little bit more time. If you can go slow down her departure. Because the more chaos there is here, the more places they're looking, the easier it is going to be for me to get this done. Trust me, this is not the first time I've actually done this.
Incredible.
All right. What do you want me to do?
And so your steamer trunk's here. He's basically as good as loaded, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Wyatt's like, I need Juniper. Come with me real quick.
All right.
Because I need to be back at the factory to make this happen.
So do you want chaos or...
Yeah, as much chaos as you can muster.
Don't say that to Hereafter.
Oh, I say it to him because I know he hates that.
Well, Hereafter smiles as you leave and says, "The guest is always right."
Okay. Now it's Sam's
Sam?
up.
It's my turn.
It's Sam's turn. It's Sam's time.
It's my time.
We could always do a flashback.
It's true. You're not
Could always do a flashback.
Yeah, you're
it's
not
true.
stuck in time.
Very true.
Or you can choose how it ends, and we have to establish.
It's true.
That's fair. I mean, I could definitely go with the choosing how it ends, but then I don't want to stump anybody else with, where do we go next? That isn't just like, Galen is hanging around the train station desperately trying to figure out what to do.
I mean, I could definitely figure something out if you want me to frame a scene. This is what I do.
That's fair. Do you want to frame a scene?
Sure, I can do that. If you want to, if you're fine with that, I don't care if you want to make the selection so I know how to go.
Oh, I mean, it's gonna have a good ending.
Oh, okay.
Yoink.
Fine by me.
Oh,
okay.
boy. That good end for us is getting further and further away, Brian.
It's funny that you thought that's what I was going for. You might be going for a good. You're still okay. You could get there.
I could get there. Yeah, okay.
So I think what it is I think maybe like you can also be hereafter. I don't know. I just don't quite know how to position you into it, but I can set up all the pieces and then you can come in as you want. And I think what we see is the queen like up in the face of one of her guards.
Hell yeah.
And it's just like, no, I will be going back to the factory. I need to check on my husband. I need to see what's going on. I can't leave with the third explosion goes off in the background. I can't leave while this is happening. And I think our jackbooted thug is just maybe grabs her by the arm, is trying to force her onto the train or something like that. So.
And this is where Galen comes out and says, excuse me, unhand her. Are you not supposed to be protecting her? Is that not your duty as her guard?
Is it not exploding out here?
I can't imagine that the train is going to be much safer. Something, a steam
Train's
engine.
always safer.
You want to put her closer to the steam engine while there's explosions happening.
The steam engine moves away from the explosions.
I am not concerned with the danger. What could possibly happen to us here? even if something were to happen, is temporary at best. I need to see what's going on.
Well, that's right. Sorry, sidebar. We're all dead already.
Yes.
Yeah.
What happens when you double die?
I'm cribbing from Hades right now.
Yeah,
Cool.
you eventually come
Yeah.
back.
Interesting. Good to know.
Nobody can die forever down here. See, I think the director of the thug is just like entirely above my pay grade. You're supposed to get on.
Well,
Is she not in control? Does she not control you? I'm sorry, sister. I can't. This is ridiculous.
I think she sort of like glances away, like they're not directly under my order. No.
We answer to the boss.
Does the boss not answer to his wife? Galen's just like,
Don't pull me into this. I don't give a fuck about that.
hey, listen.
I am not
don't.
paid enough for this.
he's like, I don't get paid enough. I'm fucking done. All right. Okay, then let's just all be very reasonable here. This is above your pay grade, as you said. If you simply allow my sister to remain, she ordered you. What more could you do? Galen's like spreading his hands very like, there's nothing you could do here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know. What does he do on it?
Yeah. What? You picked a good die, right, Galen?
I picked a good die,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, what is the good? Does he walk away or does he refuse? And Galen just fucking cold clocks him. Like what?
Okay, so I feel like Galen's probably not going to cold clock him, but he's definitely like, he's pushing his sleeves up, he's like ready to, and the guy's like, whatever.
Galen
you know what?
is tall
Fine.
and ripped.
Yes.
Like Galen
is tall and ripped.
Galen was in good shape when he got here and has only been doing factory work for like months on end.
Yeah.
So
He is beefy. He was once sort of like stringy, because like he was like a ranger type fighter, so he fought long range with a bow and arrow. So he had, strong arms, but not necessarily strong legs. Now he's been lifting, he's been doing all sorts of stuff, not lifting like lifting weights, lifting like lifting boxes.
Yeah.
And he's like ready to throw down, and the guard just sort of throws his hands up and goes, fine, this is on your head. And he stomps off. Galen brushes his hands together and goes, I think that went rather well. How are you doing today, sister?
I am doing terrible, brother.
Another explosion.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? That's the fourth one. Hey, somebody open the box.
Yeah. Hope it's the right person.
Yep. He offers his arm to his sister and says, let's go find out what's going on, shall we?
I think she takes her arm. She's like, what would I ever do without you, brother?
I guess we'll never have to know. And then they're off. Or rather, I hope we never have to know.
Fucking incredible.
They're having a good time. They're having a bad time, but they're having a good time.
Okay.
Alrighty.
We're back around to the start.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I'm gonna frame the scene. I love framing scenes. I don't care how they go. Also, it's not like I've got a lot of choices about how it's gonna go this time around.
I mean, I don't know. If you pick, if somebody gives you the red one, and then the last one can also be red.
Oh, that's true, I guess. But I'm not gonna be the last one, so.
True. Oh, I am.
Yeah.
God, fuck.
So it's, as we previously established, it's Wyatt and Juniper just like rushing into the thing. 4 explosions have gone off. They were definitely like the fucking factory is now just full on fucking fire. But at the like all of the offices are up top, so it's the top of the building is on fire. So everybody who works actually in the factory has more than enough time to escape.
Though I do think that there are people here who have been here for long enough that they're not stopping working.
They're just like fucking same old, same old.
Okay. And I think White's at the gates, and he like sort of like is looking at it, and he's like nodding. He's like, okay, Juniper, if you can get everybody out of here, just try and round up as many people. If you have to knock them out and get them off their machines, get them out of here. I don't know how this is gonna go.
What are you trying to do?
It's exactly what. So he like looks over at Juniper and is like, "It's what Hereafter said. It's a hostile takeover."
What does that even look like for the people in there? And I gesture to the factory currently on fire with people still inside.
Only the top part's on fire.
The building's made of brick, and it should burn fairly slowly, which will give me enough time to do what I need to do.
And what do you need to do?
Need to make a vote. I think he reaches into his like suit pocket and pulls out the envelope that Hereafter gave him. And he hands it to Juniper, and he's like, when you get everybody out, get them off the grounds, and lock the gate behind you.
And what's this?
Wyatt sort of like looks back.
There's no reason she would know.
No. Yeah. And Wyatt like looks back at the building like, we're all bound here by contracts. Not just normal contracts. We're not here on our honor. We're bound here. And even if we burn this place to the ground, those contracts will still exist, and he will still execute those contracts. We can run to the ends of this world. We can go anywhere we want, but he can compel us back here. So if somebody else is in charge of those contracts, they can let them lapse. I made a deal. He thought he was getting something good out of it, but I was just getting everything I needed. That is a little bit of penance. So, get everybody out of here, lock the gate.
Fine. And she turns and heads towards, starts heading off and then like breaks out into a run. And goes to start trying to clear people out.
I think Wyatt like buttons up his vest and sort of like straightens his clothing, and like starts walking to where the last building that hasn't exploded is yet. And I think he gets like to the door and sort of like pauses for a second. I'm gonna interpret this good die. And he like looks at his hand like he did before, and when he snaps, like at the very tip of his index finger or his like pointer finger, is just like a tiny little flame, and he like smirks and walks in the building.
Nice.
Fantastic. So I am going to resolve a scene. I have not taken a die yet. I will take the only die I can.
That's fair.
Hereafter, T. Anderson.
Jesus Christ.
I arranged my dice in the shape of a T.
For the listener at home.
For the listeners at home, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm going to resolve this scene.
And so the last we saw of Hereafter, this was him heading back with the view of keeping the chaos rolling.
Yeah. White's desperately trying to make that train not go away until, like, he's done the thing that he needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
Which he's done the thing that he needed to do. Like, as long as Juniper can get back to the train, he feels like he's gotten pretty okay through this.
I feel like the fact that Galen and Fallon have basically disappeared from the train station might be a bit of a wrench in the plans of literally everybody.
Maybe that's what this is. Maybe that's how, like, Hereafter is pivots, like, directing traffic or just using that he's like very efficacious. Wow, I should never try to use words with that many syllables past midnight. Fuck. You know what I'm trying to get at. But he's doing his things in his way, and then he spots Galen and Fallon like with and maybe a single security guard who's just like, this is going to end badly if I'm not here.
Yeah, there is there is supposed to be a chase of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Hereafter spots the two of them with that guard and strolls over and says, Sir Galen, my queen, you're somewhere other than where you're supposed
Sir
to be.
Sir Galen, my queen, what the fuck?
Well, first of all, we figured the train can't leave without us, especially not without her. And she, my dear sister, is demanding to see what's going on.
Oh, if that's all, I can tell you what's going on. Just a perfectly standard munitions practice.
Galen's just raising an eyebrow at Hereafter, like, is this really what you're trying to pull here?
Mr. Undersign, I am fairly positive we do not make munitions.
Bomb 5 goes off.
Yet. Prototypes, you know how it is. Would it be easier if I said, just trust me?
No.
Sorry, I feel like Galen is actually laughing very inappropriately right now. Just like...
Wait, Galen doesn't trust Hereafter?
It's not that Galen doesn't trust Hereafter. Well, I mean, he doesn't, but... Galen does not trust Hereafter. He thinks he's slippery.
Well, he is. Hereafter, so...
But if I should be able to trust you, that means you know what's going on. Why don't you just simply tell me, Mr. Undersign, what is happening?
Galen sort of tilts his head like she's got a point.
Monsieur Hereafter T. Undersigned smiles. His winning, shining smile. And he says, My lady, honored vacation guest. Put simply, the existing order is experiencing an unexpected paradigm shift. And he shimmers. And, like, his flesh, like, kind of takes on this weird, like, oily.
That's kind of sexy,
sheen.
but also deeply unsettling. I don't say that out loud in character.
As there's, like, a weird, like, chromatic aberration, and instead of a lawyer, it's a bellhop, or a concierge, and it ripples again, and it's a train conductor, and it ripples again, and it's an emaciated man who has tattooed his contract on his body before it ripples back to the lawyer, and he says, and for your own safety, I would emphatically recommend you wait for it to blow over.
I think she's just, like, gone pale, is, like, gripping Galen's arm.
Yeah, Galen looks a little bit shell-shocked.
And Hereafter kind of turns and is ignoring them all and puts a hand on the wall of the factory. And he says, Did you know something I learned a long time ago is that places remember.
Huh.
And sometimes they remember enough that they want to do something about it.
Well.
And the bricks begin to rattle in their mortar and the scene cuts to black. Or cuts away.
Dope.
Wyatt said the place wasn't magic yet.
Sure wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
And Hereafter is also drawing upon some experience.
Yeah.
If you want to know what Hereafter's talking about, go check out. You can check out anytime you like.
Good shit. It's a great arc.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Juniper Aurelius.
God, we have 2 scenes left before the epilogue.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We sure do.
I really like the notion that kicking off with what Zach just said, I'll establish. Not that it makes much difference how the scene's going to end, because I don't have a wild die. So it's going to be negative regardless.
Yeah, might as well just move the die over there.
I'll just move that over here. But I really like the idea that Juniper has managed to get this particular block of the factory floor clear. And is heading to find Wyatt and presumably Hereafter. And there's this rattling of bricks going on as sort of the memories in this place, or the soul of this place, starts to shift and twist. Because so many people from so many different places and realities in the same place, why wouldn't things start to get a little weird? And with like what Wyatt is setting in motion as well, kicking things off, like some things just need a little spark. So this is like Juniper walking, and I think this is what happens because I'm fucking watching WandaVision as well.
No, I haven't watched the last episode yet. I'm here instead of
there's no spoilers, but like they're walking, and as the camera sort of moves around you see her in sort of like full on sort of like late 60s protest wear, and the sound of bricks is the sound of like a chant, and it's the press of a protest of bodies. And maybe the camera moves and we see a different version of Hereafter and a different version of Wyatt, different times and places, as this factory is trying to figure out what it is now. And yeah, I like the 3 of them sort of coalescing in one place. So I don't know how long after what Wyatt left to do this is, if he's been successful, but I don't know if he was expecting reality to start to have a say in the matter about a management change.
Wyatt is surprisingly unfazed by all of reality melting around him.
Of course he is.
He got here for specific reasons, for sure. I think like why like it shifts. Are we shifting back to like kind of like the more like is the real? Are we shifting back to the 60s? Or are we shifting back to how we like to kind of like more of like a personal display of where we come from?
I think it's a personal display.
Okay. I think Wyatt looks kind of similar. Wyatt is in like at this point, he is in a very sharp suit, like a very modern sharp suit. He doesn't have a tie on, but it's it's kind of like a pastel, pink with like the vest is a different color. What's a good contrasting color? Something a bit darker.
To pink.
Like a pastel pink, like light, yeah,
like a deep foresty green.
Yeah, there we go.
Like a deep forest green.
Good old watermelon.
He's got his hair he's got his hair back. I think he's got his like hair fully back, like up in a top knot. And the little points on his ears are more pronounced now. And I think he's sort of like adjusts himself, kind of looks out, like shakes his head and like leans over, and like camera pans out to he's in front of like an office sort of similar to his that is just fucking on fire behind him. And he like leans over the secretary's desk and puts a finger on the intercom and goes, excuse me, everybody. This is to make official. The board has voted no confidence. Management will be shifting. Please make your way to the train station. And, like, lets off and begins walking downstairs. I guess where he sees, like, Juniper, and possibly no merit, or not no merit. That's me. Hereafter.
That's a different reality.
Yeah, another weird combination of weird names.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like things are collapsing in on themselves in a way, or expanding. Hereafter is not present. Hereafter is going Joker mode.
Oh my!
And yeah, wow. I mean, I feel like Galen and Fowlin were already sort of. As soon as Hereafter did that spooky shit earlier, they were out.
They're like, yeah, you know what? The train sounds great.
They were hustling. Yeah, they were hustling back to the train. You know, they were like, you know what? I don't know. I don't want to know anymore. I'm good.
You know what? Fuck
Let's go back
this.
where we were supposed to be.
Yeah, fuck all this.
But I think by the time they arrive at the train station, both of them are wearing very different outfits than they were wearing before.
Mm-hmm. Are they like in their regalia?
Yeah, they're in their like they're in like what they were wearing as you know, rulers, which I believe I described at one point as being sort of 17th century French court attire.
Mm-hmm.
And so Galen is wearing this like baby blue silk suit with elaborate silver embroidery on it, and Fowlin is wearing a very large dress with, like, extremely wide panniers. Like, she is more queenly than ever.
Very nice.
And yeah, they're just like, what?
Oh, I said very nice.
Yeah, and they're just fucking huddling together near the train, like, what the fuck is happening here?
The station is now full of people who are all wearing what they were wearing when they died.
Yes.
Which means it's people from all across time, just all on this single train station. I mean, listen, die's wild, you know? It could be good, or it could be bad.
Yeah.
And the train door's open.
All right, Galen.
I get to frame the scene.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so, Galen and Fowlin make their way into the train.
Well, you get to frame the scene. You don't get to pick the die, my dude.
I didn't pick that die.
Oh, my bad. I missed it.
No, I didn't pick that one.
I just gave Galen the positive.
Sorry, I was tabbed off.
So now I get to frame the scene. Mm-hmm. No worries, yeah.
You already were framing the scene.
Hmm?
You already were framing
I was framing the scene.
I'm sorry.
No worries. So yeah, Galen and Fowlin both, I think, are perhaps the first people to actually step foot on the train, because they were supposed to be on there anyways. Mm-hmm. But seeing them step into the train, step into Fowlin's, like, train car that is basically reserved just for her, it sort of starts a flood of people going, right. There's nothing stopping us.
They can't stop all of us. It's Black Friday at the Walmart, baby.
Oh, God.
There's that crush of people, that wave that overtakes the guards.
Yeah. And I feel like as this begins to happen, more and more cars sort of, like, appear. Not, like, out of nowhere. It's just, like, you look away and you look back and there's suddenly another car at the end there. And, you know, there are doors between the train cars, and people just start filling the train and start piling into this train car, dressed in not just people from across time, but also from across universes. There's people wearing, wizard hats and spooky robes. There's people who look like they're wearing, like, a blanket, practically. There's people from, endless amounts. There's people in, like, heavy furs and, people with wild tattoos, just all sorts of people. It's
a crazy kill 6 billion demons spread page.
Exactly. I've not consumed that media, but Sure. Sounds about right.
I'll bring something up. People who know it, you know it. You know what those 2-page spreads look like. But yeah, fantastic.
And yeah.
And
I guess I get to decide how the scene ends.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose the scene ends on the train station slowly begins to empty. And the train just keeps getting longer. As people just pile into this train.
I do want to have put in one piece of visual or auditory, honestly, is that there is a sound of bricks grinding against each other as like part of the factory collapses in the distance.
Yeah,
and it sounds like a roar.
Cool shit. And sexy. I love it.
It is time for the aftermath.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Sure is. I don't remember how to do this.
Right. Basically, in your case and in Brian's case, you'll be rolling your red die and deducting the black die from it after rolling it. That was a weird way to describe that. But yeah, you roll all your die and then whichever color you have more of, or whichever color you have less of, you deduct from the one you have more of.
Okay.
So.
Oh, I can't select one of these.
Which one can't you select? I guess I'll just roll this one for you. They're the same.
Okay,
that's great.
Did you roll your black?
I can't touch. I can't interact with it, so I'm just rolling.
I can interact with mine. Good,
but I can do math.
Okay, so you can't interact with your.
I got it too.
Well,
so we got 5, 6, 7, 8 minus 2, 6.
Wait. Oh,
I'm
great.
just making
6
a note.
Positive.
I'm just.
Well, okay. So I guess we can take one or the other of Brian because I rolled your token die and then you just rolled a d6.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was doing before. That's how I got the other number ahead up there. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I'm going to take my rolls because I love the idea that I have -2.
I'm just dropping that in there now so I don't forget. If everyone wants to actually do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Okay. Is white red, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
So I have...
And then, the aftermath, however many dice you have, that's the number of little vignettes you get to do.
Oh god, I get to do so many.
Everybody's actually about the same.
No, not the number, the amount of dice.
Yeah.
So 4 dice.
So you have 4, I have 4, Brian has 3, Zach has 5. So we're actually pretty evenly split on it. So, does everybody know what they got?
Yes. Also, so the way that this is supposed to work is so we roll all the dice in front of us. We call it total domain color as in the tilt. We get our aftermath table, and then we play out the aftermath as a montage with this is statement per die associated with your character. We're using the softer aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
So I got.
Does somebody have a screenshot of the softer aftermath? Sorry,
I'll get it.
So Brian, you got 4 red and 6 blacks, which means that you ended up with 2 black.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's how it works. Yeah. Not a -2, but black 2.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Cool. Thank you. That helps me figure things out.
So, as you have the most die, Zach, do we all want to go through what we got first and read what the soft aftermath says, and then we'll start the vignettes with hereafter.
Okay, sounds good.
Mm.
I got 2 black, which is fucked. Whatever idiocy you got up to broke you. It scarred you, and I'm not talking about something the therapist can fix. And all around you're the broken pieces of people and things you hold dear.
I hate that this is a soft aftermath too.
Mm-hmm. I got black 3, extremely awful. Whatever you care about is gone, that's for sure. And you're probably also missing a tooth.
I got white or red 5, desperate. Still looking for an angle, still rearranging the deck chairs, stuck in a holding pattern, getting nowhere.
I got red or white 6. Sad. Woeful. Not cool. People don't like you. Even you don't like you. You reached your peak and it wasn't all that lofty, was it?
What was Juniper's? I'm sorry.
Desperate. White 5
Okay.
on the table.
Yes. So I have the most, so it'd probably be easiest for me to start.
Absolutely.
And then us to go around. So I take... We go in montage with one "this is" statement per die as your character. This is my character doing something. Should be active, should be about your guy, not somebody else. Then somebody else takes a die and does the same thing. So I'm going to start. I'm going to take this die. And I'm going to say, "This is hereafter tearing up the tracks behind the train." This place that hereafter has helped wake up has had perhaps enough of exploitation, and nothing is coming in ever again. And nothing is ever going to get out. And then we could probably just go in order again.
Do we go for each one of our dice? Yeah.
Yeah.
Each one of our dice. Yeah, that's why I took one of mine and put it in the middle.
Cool.
Yeah, so we'll keep going in turn order, I think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide what this is for Juniper, given things are desperate. Because I was working on the assumption that maybe she didn't get out or get to the train on time. Which I kind of like, to be honest.
The tilt was collateral damage.
Mm-hmm.
Innocent
Sure
collateral
was.
damage.
Yeah. This is Juniper in the remnants of the station, watching the train pull away and the tracks be pulled up behind it. And because thinking and watching hereafter do that and thinking that maybe she was wrong about him and that it was good to be wrong.
Galen, you're up.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Okay. This is Galen, sticking his head out the window, looking back at the train growing longer, but the shadows engulfing the place where we were leaving behind, and watching, everybody that he has cared about besides his sister in the past, however long he's been here, be left behind by the train.
Sick. Take this, one of Wyatt's few positive dice. And we cut to the inside of the factory. It's like explosions and fire and chaos, and we have like a behind the back shot of the boss. We don't see his face, but he's kind of like kind of a broadish guy. He's like bald, but he has like kind of like, we can see from that one, he's got kind of like a pretty like well manicured longish like beard with like flecks of gray in it. And he's sort of scrambling through the hallway. And then he sort of like met in one of the hallways, like he's just like met with kind of like a wall of flame as things are up, and like sort of walking through that like wall of flame is like a shadow, and then out steps Wyatt, who is like dusting embers off the edge of his suit, and he like looks at him and goes, "And here I thought you could take the heat."
This is Hereafter coming back to himself in the wake of the destruction as the shadows recede and leave a skinny, frail-looking man with ink covering everything below the neck in tiny, intricate legalese, who looks and sees the wreckage of rail stretching out before him, and knows that this angle, at least, is never going to play out again. And he stands, and the shadows draw back into him, and he brushes a speck of dust from his crisp suit. Because now there are new angles to find.
What fucking angles, man? There's nobody here. Sorry.
He was on the train.
That's not your problem.
Oh,
No, I wasn't.
Oh, I
Okay.
see. Now I'm picturing the visual.
Mhm.
Good
Yeah.
shit.
good shit.
This is he lands near Juniper.
Cool. This is Juniper sort of like sat on the remnants of the platform, actually just sort of like legs swinging back and forth, watching the establishment burn, as it were,
Hell yeah.
and appreciating the poetry of that, even if she has no idea what this means. But as somebody that's been fighting for a very long time and being dead didn't stop that, she appreciates there's something about it that's very satisfying, even if not for her personally. And sort of like hops down as Hereafter approaches. And the visual is, I think, like the two of them maybe walking back. And because fuck Aaron Sorkin, I'm going to take this. Just like, what's next? As they walk up towards the flaming brick.
Oh, weird. Now I can't interact with this red one, but I can interact with this black one. Wild.
Are you spinning this positive or negative? Because I'll move the accordant. Just to flavor. I think this is just flavor more than anything.
Yeah, I don't think that like the color of the dice matters at this point.
No. Maybe
Yeah.
not.
I'll say this is Galen sitting on the train, leaning his head on his sister's shoulder, and just realizing that he doesn't know what happens next, and he doesn't know where the train is going. That he doesn't know who knows where the train could be going or how to stop it.
Okay. I think the camera sort of pulls out from like Wyatt and out through the factory. And I think like Hereafter and Juniper are like approaching the factory, they can see it as it's like shifting and warping. Even now the fires are already starting to put themselves out. And I think like at the front gate, before they can get in, it's like locked up Willy Wonka style. And maybe Juniper remembers the envelope that got shoved into her hand at the start of all of this chaos. And we see her open it, and inside is like the ticket, but also like a note that just says like, if anyone deserves to get out of here, it's you.
What the fuck, man?
This is Hereafter chuckling wryly at this before taking out a set of before undoing his cufflinks and sliding them into the gate key lock. Because there's nothing to do out here, and we need something to do.
This is Juniper looking at that note in kind of disbelief. Folding up the note, putting it back in her pocket. Folding up the ticket and something, and then on one of the remnants of fires, just like burns the train ticket.
Yeah.
Like gives a ticket for a train that is never going to come.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of gives her head a little bit of a shake. And like, I think the reality shifts again, and she's in like work boots. It's not quite the outfit she wore in the factory, but it's still the outfit of somebody going to do some work, but it's got a little bit of like her own sort of vibe to it. Like maybe some of the colors of the outfit of her, like her protest outfit. And just sort of like pushes up the sleeves. And this is getting to work. Tear something down, it's time to build.
Hell yeah. I'll say this is Galen standing in between two train cars, looking up at the flashes of light as the train passes through dimension after time after dimension after time, over and over again, as the sky shifts between colors and, states, time of day. At one point the sky is purple. Where's that? Who knows? But this goes on for hours, and Galen is alone.
I can't actually interact with that die, so it doesn't matter.
I get you.
I think, seeing as this is going to be our parting shot of Wyatt, I think he, walks into, the big office, and it sort of, subtly shifts to this more, hyper-modern sort of place as he, moves toward the desk, and sits down, and he, looks down at the desk in, dead center of this, very 80s looking thing is just, a single, feather from, a hawk. And he looks at it, and he takes it, and he slips it into the top drawer of the desk, and then spins around the chair to, the big window that looks out over the facility, as, the oppressive, heavy sounds of metal footsteps start to, drown out the soundtrack, as all of the automations that Wyatt had been working on come online and start moving in, filling up the main facility, sort of barring the door, keeping him isolated.
Danielle's gonna punch
I know.
you.
I'm prepared for this.
Well, unfortunately, Wyatt, you don't have any say in things anymore. Because this is hereafter T undersigned. No longer wearing the garb of a 1950s lawyer. No longer able to go around the world in a hat, obscuring his features. Now he has a slick 1980s business suit and a pager.
Oh god, a pager.
Oh god, a pager.
It's perfect, and I hate it.
He's got a pager. What will he do?
Hey, is it your turn or is it my turn?
Sorry.
And this is hereafter the undersigned. Somehow finding a way into that office anyway. Because the boss needs his personal assistant.
Boss needs his lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer anymore.
I see.
I'm a fixer.
Right.
This is Juniper, sat with one of the automatons that hasn't come online for some reason. This is her reaching in and rewiring and making it into something different. And watching it wake up. And if there's management, there's got to be a union rep.
All right.
That's Juniper.
That's Juniper. Oh, I can't touch that die. It's fine. This is Fowlin stepping out onto the small section of pathway between the two train cars, taking a seat next to Galen. Her dress is now no longer 6 feet wide, because that would be inconvenient in this setting. She's wearing a simple shift dress. Galen is in his shirt sleeves, no longer wearing his coat and vest. And this is the two of them sitting, leaning on each other, and looking off into the train cars together, seeing people talking to each other and coming together in a way that they probably haven't been allowed to do before. And finally being able to rest. Alright, Hereafter, take us away.
Oh, this is not hereafter T undersigns. This is a man who, for the first time in a long time, can roll up his sleeves without showing off the exact text of his contract, because that contract is no longer applicable. This is a man who has a new boss to take care of and a new angle to play. This is done deal. Keeping an eye on Wyatt Bancroft until we figure out what we need to do.
Dope.
Hell yeah.
And that's been Escape from the Afterworld. Only one person
Almost
got
done.
out, and he kind of didn't. So I feel like we did a good fiasco.
That's how fiasco
Yeah.
works.
We
That's
did
how
fiasco,
fiasco
right.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew.
Alrighty. I have been
Turns
Jade.
out when nobody... Oh, sorry.
That's all right. You want to? Yeah, go on, Sam. What you got?
What I was going to say, it turns out when nobody knows how to stop the train, does it really count as getting out?
Listen to.
I guess someone's going to have to learn how to stop a train.
Listen to the mechanisms. There's a take on it. It's good. It's a good album. The Bifrost Incident. I couldn't think of the name for a second. I was drawing a complete blank. But yeah, as soon as I was saying like trains, are just like, oh, that ain't bad. But anyway,
see, I haven't watched Infinity Train, but I do. From what I understand of Infinity Train, I believe Galen just got Infinity Trained.
It seems very Infinity Trained, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to see Infinity Train as a verb.
Yes, I have a crate waiting downstairs for me, and I'm going to talk, but we should wrap up this episode.
Let's quickly wrap.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been Jade. You can find me on Twitter at JadeOxfordRose. You can find the show at FTLcast on Twitter and at FTLcast.com. And if you like what we do and you would like to support us, you can find us at patreon.com/FTLcast. I nearly said a different podcast name. I blame this on our guest, Brian. Brian, give an outro.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a pitch to
That
me.
was a very poor segue on my part.
Okay. Hi, I'm Brian. You can find me on The Room Where It Happened, doing GM stuff. That's at RoomWherePod. You can find me also on Dumb Kids Playing Hero, being Dante. That's over at DKPH Pod on Twitter. And then if you like this vibe, but you also like August, narrowcasting here, I'm sure. If you're listening to this podcast, I assume you like August. You can listen to me and August talk at length about Steven Universe over on Gay Space Rocks at Gay Space Pod.
Zach.
Hello, I've been Zachary Lee Frederickson. You can find me on Twitter. I've seen the guide. You can find the music I do at iambugbear.bandcamp.com.
And Sam.
I have been Sam. You can find me on Twitter at SAKalo, and you can find my art at samkalo.com. That's www.samkalo.com, because if you don't type that in, the website will break. Yeah.
And if you want to follow our podcasting guild, Standing Stones, you can find us on Stones_standing on Twitter and at Standing Stones Prod on Twitch. We regularly stream on Mondays. Brian and August play various video games I'm never up late enough to watch. I hear it's a good time. We also do various TTRPG streams, charity streams. It's a good time, but you can follow us on the Twitter and be kept up to date with various shenanigans that we get up to. It is 1:45 in the morning. Zach
I think
has
I just
crate
said my
waiting.
website wrong.
We'll put it in the show notes, but let's do a clap.
All right. I think I said
on the
.com
minute.
instead of .art.
Top of the minute.
Yeah.